Okay guys, here we go with second match from this week's Monday 9-ball Scottish doubles, and this is a semi-final match in the winner's side, obviously, race to 7, and in this match we have djsimon and StevoUk teamed up against Larry and Mr. Bill, and djsimon and Stevo are getting a rack. So they lead by 1 rack to 0. Cue balls run far enough so Stevo can see the 2 ball. He needs to stun this 2 in. Get the cue ball off the end rail and back up, and he actually had not enough stun and too much top on the cue ball there. That's why it spun into the corner pocket. He had the cue tip a little too high on the cue ball, which just forced it into the pocket, and he needed to be more or less central on the cue ball and stunned it hard to bring it down off the end rail and back up. And that was a rush shot by Bill on the 4. He got nicely on the 5, well, a bit too straight in the 5 as a matter of fact, but anyway, that's all done and dusted. And this is a tough shot to hold out for the 6 here. This 5 will go down the rail, but he needs to dig into the cue ball. Well, he's played it soft, and that was a sort of chicken out shot there. He didn't commit himself to the shot, tried to be too cute, whereas the actual proper shot to play was a good bit of bottom the cue ball and draw the 5 in, and the cue ball would have come off the rail and back out for the 6, but as it is, they covered the 5 up, but Larry banked it in, and Bill's going to have to dig out a good shot here because he's obviously going well away from the 7 ball, and he needs to avoid the 8 and 9. Well, I think Bill's come to his senses there. He decided the safety was the best policy. And that was always going to be a bit too hard. And when you play those sort of soft shots, you really have to be fully comfortable with your mouse sensitivity settings to know that you've got full control over the cue ball to play dead weight shots like that. You could see straight away he'd hit it too hard, and that gives Larry and Bill a chance to get themselves off and running. Cue ball needs to keep going. Well, the cut's on, so he should get this. And that ties the match up at 1 rack all. And looks like a dry break. And again, this is a nice looking rack. Steve was on the 1. He doesn't really have to do anything with the cue ball. Natural angle of the cue ball is going to take it over behind the 4, and he checked it, and by checking it he took away any risk of going behind the 4 and snookering his partner on the 2. Well, that was a nice kiss in the 9. managed to avoid the 8 as well. So this is the important shot of the rack, getting onto the 5, and well, not only did he miss the 4, but his actual positional play in the 5 was non-existent. And again, I still think he rushed it too much. Having said that, Bill spotted the 4, but totally hooked Larry in the 5. Kissed the 9 off the rail and brought it out, and has hooked his partner. And I think Larry's got away with that. Yeah, certainly has. Now, this is where you've got to be careful, because if he kisses the edge of this 5, he could set up a combo on the 5-9, because the 8 ball's going to try and kill the pace in the 5 here. So he's got to watch what he's doing. If that 5 ball's adjacent to the 9 like that, but anyway, the cue ball's in the right position, it's not lined up at all, so, but the 5-9 is dead into this corner pocket, but it won't be in a second. I'd be playing this with a little bit of sort of bottom the cue ball and a bit of left English, just to send it over to the left a bit, just like that. And let's see what the angle's like in this 7. Well, I can just draw it back for the 8, and then cue ball off the side rail and across for the 9. So this is an easy out now. And because Simon and Stevo are only getting 1 rack in the handicapping system, this is a tougher match for them, because Larry and Bill are by far and away the favourites. But again, Stevo and Simon are still capable, and it's all down to who makes the most mistakes, and not only that, who can take advantage of them more than the other team. Well, I think that, I'm assuming that was an attempt at a safety, but he's inadvertently potted a ball, and just a kick shot on here. Oh, how did he miss that? Went right round behind the 1. So it's ball in hand to Larry. 1 ball isn't a problem. Neither's a 3. Neither's a 4 and a 5. The problem ball's a 6. And let's have a look at the 6 ball. Well, yeah, it'd be difficult to try and make any sort of combination in the 9, so they're going to have to play a very good shot here to get onto this 6. And the 6 of course goes down into that top left hand corner pocket where the 5 is. So however, that isn't a problem, and this is a perfect opportunity for Larry to just put the cue ball onto the side rail a bit if he wanted, just like that, and that gives Bill the angle on the 5 to bring the cue ball up here and try and get over, certainly inside the line of the 8, over and across and behind the 6, and that's just got to hold up. Yeah. So Larry's got the 6, but what they're going to do with this 7, there's just no way they can get on the 7 as far as I can see, and probably trying to leave Bill a bank into this bottom right hand corner pocket, possibly. Well, No, he saw the other shot being the billiard. So Bill just needs to get the edge of this 7 and send that cue ball onto the 9, and hopefully for his sake do that. And that was a well played shot. Larry and Bill have now got a gap. It's now 3 racks to 1. And at this stage you feel that Bill and Larry, once they get their teeth into the match, they could run away with it. So Simon and Steve will need to salvage something here pretty quickly before things get a bit desperate. Six and 7 are sitting as a combo. And that's not going to get any favours there for StevoUk. He's going to have to jump over the 7 and the 6 to just get to the 2. And the cue ball, unless it's got a tremendous amount of power on it, is going to stay in the top half of the table, so there'll be no shot in the 5. Yeah. And this might be just about keeping distance between the cue ball and the 2 here. Well, Larry went for the bank. He had to shape it to make the bank because the bank wasn't dead set. So again, no shot on here for StevoUk. Now if he tries to come off the edge of this 3 and trickle up behind the 7 and 8, that's all very well, but he needs to get the cue ball dead close to these 2 balls. If he does, yeah, well, that's all went wrong. He hit it far too hard. He was never going to combo any of those 2 balls in because none of them were set, so didn't even get the chance to say an opportunity for Bill and Larry, and Bill's already missed the 3 ball. Oh, it just goes in. A cue ball come round behind the 5. Well, unfortunately it's dead straight on the 4, so there's no angle there to get the cue ball out far enough. I don't think he's going to have to really try and force something here. He's got a bit of right English on it, and this ball could rattle. Yeah, putting English in the cue ball and playing that sort of force is going to send the object ball offline naturally, and of course in these pockets, once it starts hitting jaws, it's going to hold up. He did his best to get the cue ball out and he got it down onto the 5, but with the 4 not capitulating and going into the pocket, it's an opportunity for Bill and Larry, and that's held up too straight. Still a cut on it. And what does he do to hold for this 6? Or is he going to try and get the cue ball out and round to leave a combo? Or play the bank? I think Bill's not quite made up his mind, but it looks like the bank from the way he's set up here, and that's not going to go, but it's got enough power on it to get up and out the way. And this will also be a bank back across into the right hand corner pocket, I think. But again, the wrong angle to actually get anything onto this 6. Well, that one's held up. And again, this is a problem. The object ball's deep in the pocket, so that it's very difficult to judge the draw on this shot. And in fact, Larry managed to squeeze an angle there to get out. So the 6 ball goes clean. I think it does, yeah. And this seems a formality now. Larry he's got a choice. He can come out and try and get Bill into the right middle or the left middle by just checking the cue ball and sending it back like he did. So Bill and Larry are going into a strong lead, 4 racks to 1. And something needs to happen for Simon and StevoUk to try and get themselves into this match, or it's going to really run away from them. And really, Bill and Larry aren't playing out their skins, so the opportunity's there. It's just a matter of taking your chances. And this table's a bit ugly looking, but there's good cover there with those clusters down at the top end. Now, Simon going for the jump. And with that shot there, Bill was actually trying to create something with the cue ball to get it over to disturb these balls, and that's why he missed the one so badly. And this one is going to be held there by the 7, and that was a clever shot. And we might see a bit of cat and mouse here for a minute or two until those other 3 balls in the cluster are disturbed. Let's have a look at what angle we have here. Well, I'm forgetting that's ball in hand, he never hit a rail. Well, no prizes for guessing what's going to happen now. Well, is the cue ball tight against the 2? Well, I think it's tight enough. But then rail not hit again. Oh dear. And Bill and Larry, ball in hand, plays a combo 1 and onto the 9, and before you know it, it's now 5 racks to 1. And Simon and StevoUk look as if that they're going to find themselves on the loser side. Remember, this Monday night 9-ball Scotch doubles is a double elimination, so once you lose one match, you then go to the losers bracket, and you've still got a second chance to win the tournament if you can win the remaining matches. And that line of balls there is good cover. And I think Bill's going to get the jump stick out again. and this time it all goes wrong. It's not always the answer to your problems, but a lot of players revert to the jump stick more often than not in this game. So it's ball in hand to StevoUk, and that's not exactly the best shot. Yeah, he's lining it up different now. That's better. Just a little roll through in the two. Not too far though. Well, will I be honest and say try to get the cue ball there? I doubt it. It would have been easier leaving the cue ball in the middle of the table, but anyway, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Just a simple shot this time, cue ball out into the middle of the table as long as it's far enough. It needs to kiss the 9, that'd be perfect. Oh, unlucky. Jump stick again, you can't see the potting angle. And that's well controlled. So this is a must-win rack for Simon and Stevo. They can't mess this up. And that isn't perfect. The angle's perfect though, but it's not a comfortable shot into the middle. Just the pace will take the cue ball up for the 8. He's got it. Now, does he just stop the cue ball dead and leave Simon the long 9? Or does he draw it back and get the simpler one into the middle? Well, he's just run through, so that's fine. Now, maybe that will give them a bit of momentum. They've managed to snatch that rack. They trail by 5 racks to 2. It looks as if they've had no luck in the break. 5 and 9 are tied up though, so that might be their saviour. But the 5 and 9 can also give good cover. I think this one ball's coming up by the 4. No, he's went for it in the middle. Well, Bill obviously made up his Larry's made up his mind that they're going to try and run this rack out, but the problem balls are there, and when you look where the 4 is, how will they get an angle to move this 5? I mean, the way the 5 is sitting, the 5 is actually placed pretty well to play a billiard. If you just thin the 5, you could get the 9 into that top corner. Anywhere where the cue ball is now would actually be perfect, and this looks to be on. Maybe not though, I think he's a bit straight. Let's see what he does. Well, it managed to squeeze past. I never thought that was on. It actually just brushed the 9. And this looks like a run out for Larry and Bill. Now this needs that you've got a choice to play this. You can either run through or draw back. Oh, disaster. Oh, he's got away with it. Thought that was going into the middle. So that seals that rack. Bill and Larry go to the hill. They lead by 6 racks to 2. Larry's come up dry, and no shot on for their opponents. 2 and the 4 tied up in the left hand rail. This is going to bounce out, I think. Yeah. Well, I think Bill will just drop this one in and leave the cue ball on the rail and leave the combo for Bill. The 4's actually off the rail a bit more than the 2 is, so this is just about weight. If he hits it soft enough, the 4 will drop in. Well, he stunned it, and he's held the 2 as well. That was a good shot. And it's easy enough for Bill just to stop the cue ball as well. And this one is the crucial shot. The 3's fairly straightforward. Cue ball though is going to be travelling and needs to avoid hitting anything down here to get up to that 5. And he's short, I think. Yep. And he had all that room to manoeuvre, but he underhit it. And is this a lifeline? Oh no, he's actually managed to thin that in. That's well played by Bill. And just as Simon and Stevo thought they were going to get another chance at the table, they may well already have played their last shot. And it looks as if it's all over. Just drop the 7 in, cue ball off the rail, drop the 8 in, and the cue ball will just run through a little tad, couple inches, or stun it in, whichever he prefers. And the match winning shot played by Bill, and Bill and Larry head to the final, and they win by 7 racks to 2.